right, let's go to Charlie DeMar. He has been, of course, covering this for us from the very beginning. He broke this case when it first happened over 3 years ago. And Charlie, you've been in the courtroom all day. So, all right, it's a lot to cover, but are there any nuances that you were able to see from your vantage point that we were unaware of, including Jussie Smollett interacting with his team? Anything that really stood out to you?
And Erica, before we dive into that, I do want to throw over to Jussie Smollett's older brother, JoJo, who's speaking right now. So let's go over to that right now.
He spoke about his arrogance. He doesn't know the struggles my brother is encountering. He doesn't know anything that he's dealing with. He doesn't know anything that he's dealing with. He's spent all that time shaming him. In 2022, we don't shame people like this, all right? He basically called him a mental case, all right? If you look at that testimony, he basically reiterated and regurgitated all the prosecutors said. There was no independence. This is a duly elected judge in Cook County. He's supposed to be elected by the people, not just a stooge and a rubber stamp for the prosecutors. And I'm very disappointed, very disappointed.
What's your name again, sir?
My name is JoJo Smollett. I'm his oldest brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have something I want to say quickly.
Your name, ma'am?
My name is Jazz Smollett. I'm his older sister. First of all, I want to say my brother is innocent. My brother Jussie is innocent. This should not be a controversial statement because it is the absolute truth. What should be controversial is the entire miscarriage of justice this whole ordeal has been. I pray peace over my brother. I pray the peace of God over my brother and all victims of oppression and hate. I pray that we can do better as a world. May the God of peace be with you. Shalom.
Your name, sir?
My name is Jockey Smollett. I'm Jussie's youngest brother. My brother does not deserve this. I watched my brother go from being a complete victim, which he still is. He was attacked, and he is now going to jail for being attacked. I saw my brother get locked up within 2 weeks for being attacked. Do you know how crazy that is? They want to say in that court and say that he's the reason why folks aren't going to report hate crimes. They're the reason why folks aren't going to report hate crimes.
Because none of you believed it.
None of y'all believed it. We have letters from the NAACP, President Derek Johnson himself. We have letters from Rainbow Push Coalition. We have letters from the Innocence Project, all saying that he should not be in jail. And they put him in jail. That judge chastised him. He chastised my brother. He does not deserve this. He was attacked. Do people never once think, even the folks who are naysayers, do you ever once think, what happens if he's telling the truth?
What if he's telling the truth?
Do y'all ever think about how poorly you feel in that situation? He's in jail for 5 months. That is unacceptable. For being attacked. It is not his fault that folks are not going to believe survivors anymore. He is a survivor and he has been completely mistreated, and this has to stop.
Please do your investigative journalism work.
I'm Jussie Smollett's grandmother.
A remarkable
and it was a
moment
complete
there, and
frame-up.
we have seen. Let's listen to Grandma.
Black men from being abducted into the prison system. You know it. And you guys got to do more investigative reporting, more investigation, okay? Thanks.
Can you say, Molly, his comments after the sentencing, the reiteration, the repeating that he's not suicidal, are you worried about what's going to happen to him in prison? Why do you think he said that?
He just wanted to reassure us. He wanted to reassure us.
So that was for you?
He's innocent, okay? Like so many in prison that shouldn't be there.
Would you mind?
Get the white collar guys, okay, who are really making money, who are really corrupt. We've got to do something about saving our democracy here so that we don't get another Putin, okay? I love you guys, okay? I'm a film person.
My name is Nate Phillips, and I would just like to say, until the person who recently occupied the White House, the judge said that Mr. Smollett was accused of lying. Well, guess what? The man that occupied the White House was accused of telling thousands of lies. And as long as he remains free, Jussie should remain free.
Okay, this is a gentleman not connected necessarily with the Smollett group, but then hearing an interesting anecdote from Grandma there. we were trying to read into Erica what he was saying. I am not suicidal. I'm not suicidal. She says the meaning was literal to the family, saying, don't worry about me.
Yes.
Don't worry about my mental health as I go into jail.
And he did. We could see him at different times looking around the courtroom, seeming to make eye contact and address those statements on multiple occasions to different people.
But we wondered what the meaning was.
Right.
What was he trying to say? Is he
Right.
in danger? But Grandma interpreted it as if Jesse was saying, I will be okay.
It is interesting, though, that he says, if anything happens to me, as if to imply that.
Almost a threat to the judge. It's on you.
And it wouldn't be because it was at his own hand. At Jussie Smollett's own hand. Charlie DeMar is back with us now. I know, Charlie, before we went and heard from many of the family members here, we wanted to get your perspective. As you've been in the courtroom for all of these hours of testimony, the family on his behalf and the judge's sentence.
Yeah, as you just heard, the family, before they left court tonight, very upset. They also were shouting in the courtroom. I don't know if you were able to hear it or if the cameras picked it up. I know Jussie was obviously the center point of that shot. But from the gallery, his family members were yelling. His sister Journey kept repeating, "Stop locking our black men up," over and over again to the judge. Jojo, who you just heard from here, he also had words for the judge. As you saw, Jussie Smollett was walked out of the courtroom. Throughout the day, Jussie chose not to address the court on his own behalf before sentencing. But in that dramatic moment, both seated, sitting down right after he learned his sentence, he had a lot to say. And also as he was being walked away, where he will now spend the next 151 days behind jail. I believe we do have that queued up.
I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time.
And to clarify, Smollett will serve half of that 151-day sentence. But as Dana said at the onset, Judge James Linn was strong. He chose his words carefully, calling Jussie Smollett arrogant, a narcissist, and that he brought this on himself, that he ultimately, at least on the outset, had it all. He had a great career and chose to do this. And Judge Linn talked about a lot of the ironies in this case, that Jussie did volunteer much of his time volunteering and a lot of his money to foundations, to organizations that do forward social justice issues.